I am Vadivukkarasi. I am a teacher, bird watcher, and also a bird educator for my students. Today, I am going to present my first monitoring project about the breeding biology of a very common Indian bird. It is very important to understand and monitor nesting to be able to conserve bird species. But even in common birds, we do not know much about nesting patterns or breeding biology. Here, I present my learnings from the systematic monitoring the nesting of a purple rumped sunbird nest in my own house just outside the side door. We could do this mainly. The nest was within our residential compound and the nest were not disturbed, and we do not handle the eggs or birds. The method I used to observe is a combination of direct observation and CCTV recordings to observe the nest. The nesting and incubation study was done by direct observation, but feeding process is very important for the bird. So I decided to keep a CCTV camera besides the nest. During the feeding period, the parents are very careful. They don't even allow small disturbances like opening a door while coming to feed. So I kept a CCTV camera on a tripod stand 3 feet distance from the nest and kept the door to be closed and monitor the feeding behavior of male and female. This process was carried out till the end of 17th July. Each day, the recordings were done from 5:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Initially, for the first few days, the recordings were recorded in memory card. Because of the storage problem, then the recordings were done in Google Cloud Storage. I'll now take you through the entire process from nest building to fledging. The first process is nest building. They started the nesting process from 6th July onwards. The female only constructed the nest. The male bird was always with the female and monitoring the process. The materials used for construction were soft fibers, small leaves, thin bark, plastic bag fibers, cobweb, and some items discarded by humans. In the initial days, they took 1 hour for nest building and another 1 hour for rest. Gradually, the process became faster. Finally, on 17th July, the 12th day, they finished their hanging pouch nest. While building a nest, they didn't bother about us that we are watching the process and taking videos. Every day morning before start nesting process, the male will come and visit near the nest, then communicate to the female whether the nest is safe to build or not. This is the video that I made to explain about each day's nest building process. The next step is laying eggs and incubation. On 18th July, the female laid its first egg. On 19th, the clutch consisted of 2 eggs. The eggs were oval in shape, pale greenish and with small white spots in it. Incubation of eggs was done only by the female. At that time, the male will monitor and give good security to the incubation process. There is a guava tree besides and close to the nest. While incubating, the female will go out from the nest only to take its food, and also it will take some rest in guava tree. At that time, it used to clean and smoothen the feathers. Incubation period started on 19th July. After 15 days of incubation, that is 2nd August, it comes to an end. The next one is hatching and feeding. On 3rd August, both the eggs were hatched early in the morning. The parents were busy in cleaning the nest. Exactly at 7:41 a.m. the feeding started. From the first day onwards, I recorded the feeding habits of male and female through CCTV camera. At the end of each day, through the recordings of CCTV, I manually noted down about how many times did the male and female fed the chicks, what type of food did they give, how do they feed, how many times they are carrying out the fecal sac, How far away do they dispose it? Which bird gives the first feed in the morning, etc. From the records, I made an abstract. From the abstract, I made a graph. From the graph, I got some new learnings. In initial days, the female feed more times than male. In middle of the days, both female and male feed almost equally and alternatively. At the end of the days, again the female feeds more than the male. For the first 5 days, they gave regurgitated food to the chicks. On 6th day onwards, they gave spiders and insects directly to the chicks. First feed was typically given by the male in the morning. Post-incubation events like feeding and defending the hatchlings were carried out by both the parents. The next one is carrying fecal sac. Best monetary practice was noticed here. They carried out the fecal sac then and there. It was disposed around 15 meters from the nest. From this observation, I came to an abstract. From the abstract, I made a graph. According to this abstract and graph, majority of the time, the female only carried the fecal sac. Mostly the male will take out the fecal sac in the morning between first few feedings. Then the responsibility was taken by female because the male will feed fast and fly away. But the female will give food and then wait few seconds for carrying fecal sac. This then the next one is the stages of growth. These are the 3 stages that I was noticed. The first one is hatching, next nesting, and the third one is fledgling. These are some of the photos that was taken by me to represent the different growth stages of the chicks. Finally, the chicks successfully fledged and the fledglings safely flew away with parents. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I finally want to say that everybody can use this method to responsibly monitor nests around us. It will surely help us understand long-term changes in breeding biology of common birds and eventually help with conservation of species. Thank you. Thank you so much.